Warriors young and old, new and legendary, returning to Warrior Stadium for homecoming. We break down the keys to the game as the Warriors face Clay Chalkville. Plus, her smile lights the stadium on Friday nights. It's her heart of gold that has her being known throughout Thompson. We meet Catherine Bowman, captain of the cheer squad. Plus, we check in with Coach Freeman and a whole lot more after a word from our sponsors.
Clothing, shoes, accessories, and gifts. G&G Loft has all that and more. We also offer a full line of Merle Norman makeup. Come let our staff help you pick the perfect piece just for you.
Hi, I'm David Stevenson, owner of SRS 10 Graphics. Our number one objective at SRS is providing you with the best products and services available. Visit our website and see why we don't say we're the best, our customers do.
Classic Nail Spa is proud to be one of the best nail salons in Alabaster. We will provide excellent service with all the new trends. Come relax and pamper yourself with us today.
Go Warriors! Let's take back this yard!
Hold on, soldiers. There's an easier way to deal with mosquitoes and ticks. Wayne's Pest Control offers modern solutions that are safe and effective, so you don't have to battle them alone. It's best to just call Wayne's Pest Control.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ann Artavino, and I'm happy to share that we're providing oral appliance therapy for patients with obstructive sleep apnea. This is an FDA-approved appliance, so call us today for more information.
Welcome back to the Weekly Warrior Preview. I'm your host, Donette Logan. A challenge on the road. The Warriors were put to the test, but managed to come out on top. Now they'll face a familiar challenge back at home as the reigning 6A champions, Clay Chalkville, return to Warrior Stadium. Matthew Moyer, the voice of the Warriors, joins us again. And Matthew, last year the game did not go as expected. So I was kind of surprised to see Clay Chalkville being our homecoming opponent this year.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. It'll be a fun week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Homecoming weeks are always great. But yes, interesting selection for a homecoming appointment. Chance for them to maybe get a little revenge from last year's game.
Absolutely. We know they are 6A. They're 6A champions. They are a strong team, and they have a familiar face on the coaching side. Their defensive coordinator coached for the Warriors up until 3 years ago.
Okay.
So he's familiar with these guys. He knows the offense. You have to think that kind of gives Freeman and him a little bit of edge on how do we prepare for these guys this year.
Yeah, you'll certainly see a game of cat and mouse. Last weekend, our defense came up so strong that we're certainly going to need a very similar effort this Friday night.
Our defense seems to carry us a lot. I feel like they have the past few years, and we're watching this every week. And our offense will kind of go, they're there, but it's almost hit or miss sometimes. Or you need like halfway through the game, that pep talk. And I'm not really sure what's making that out of rhythm happen. Do you have any, when you watch them play, what are you seeing?
So we discussed it during halftime of last Friday's game. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in the locker room.
Yeah.
We were down 17-14, and we just didn't seem like we had our normal energy, our normal rhythm. Come out in the second half, and our defense really, really stood tall in that game. 3 defensive touchdowns. Just a phenomenal performance by them. Michael Dujon and RJ Evans were wonderful again. It's still a learning process with that receiving core. We've got a very deep and a very good receiving core. It just takes time to develop that on the field, and that's what they're working toward.
And I think people forget, these are, we said it before, they are 15, 16, 17-year-old guys.
That's right.
They are in homecoming week. They are still kids in school, and they want the win. It's not that they want it. It's just finding what's going to motivate them to click together.
Yeah.
And we know Freeman can do it. Mm-hmm. We've seen him do it with Thompson at Spanish Fort. I mean, he's known for bringing these teams together and making them run smoothly.
Yes.
It's just going to find what gets the complacency out of their mind. And I think also a little bit of, you can do it.
That's right. Having this on your head comes with a lot of responsibility. There has been a standard that has been set at Thompson High School. There are times where I think that the responsibility really sets in, and then there are also times, again, because these are young men, that sometimes, well, just by having this on my head is going to carry me through.
Right.
And I think what we're working on right now as a team is, let's honor this responsibility. Let's honor those that have come before us and continue to carry that on. And we're getting there. There's no doubt about it. They really came together in that second half, and what looked like it was going to be a very close game. If somebody just picked up the newspaper, or do they pick up the newspaper anymore?
On the phone.
Or looked online or something like that. I guess I showed my age a little bit. They probably thought, oh, there's another Thompson blowout. If you had been at that game, it was a very tense first half and early into the second half. And then, Vestavia is driving. New Boy has an unbelievable strip of that quarterback, and 90 plus yards going the other way really started to turn that tide. And before you know it, we're out of there with the 20 plus point win.
The thing is, I got here in 2007, and I remember I would get sent to cover Thompson, and they didn't have any wins.
Okay.
And so now they have flipped the switch, and people first were in awe of what has happened to this team. They went from having barely a couple of wins to being undefeated in state championships. And they did lose last year's state championship, but they are still the team that they're strong, they're in force, but you can't have one or two guys carry you.
Right.
And I think that's what it comes down to, is they have to realize they have the talent. Like you said, they're stacked.
They are.
But they have to see they have that talent and know that having this on their head is a big responsibility on and off that field.
Well, something that Tim and John and I talked about, you are everyone's Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Everyone's Super Bowl. And those young men have to understand that. Every Friday afternoon, they have to get it in their head. We are their Super Bowl. Some of these teams are not going to make the playoffs.
No.
So to even have the opportunity to knock off Mighty Thompson, that becomes their Super Bowl. When you become someone's Super Bowl every Friday night, that's a big responsibility on your shoulders. Having this on your head certainly feels good, but that performance on the field and maintaining, I won't say excellence because that's such a hard thing to attain, but maintaining that intensity, making sure that you're dialed in, standard.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. Holding the Warrior standard and carrying that through 4 quarters every week, that's something that takes time to learn. And again, as you said, at 15, 16, 17 years old, I'm not so sure I was always that responsible,
No.
so I completely understand.
Right. I work with kids a lot, and I'll talk to them about not giving that bulletin board locker room quote. And we haven't given a quote, but yet we are in that bulletin board of those locker rooms as we're the target.
That's right.
And when you have the 6A championship coming in to 7A, they won last year on TV. They want to do it again, so they can say, hey, we may be 6A, but we can knock them off.
Right.
And it's homecoming for us, so we've got a lot on the line, a lot of heart out there, so it's kind of a revenge for us, and they're trying to kind of stay on top. It's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a great game, and there's always a little extra incentive when you know you've been selected as someone's homecoming opponent.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably going to be ample bulletin board material. But I love the way that this team schedules. When you look at our non-region schedule, to have Grayson and Lipscomb
There's no cupcakes.
and Clay Chalkville, there are not.
Yeah.
What this coaching staff is doing is getting this team ready for late October, November, and we pray into December.
Well,
that's what they're doing.
And I also like to think, one thing I love about Thompson, my boys go to school there, is, Thompson gets them ready for after Thompson.
Amen.
And I feel that with coaching schedules like this, it's not just that Friday night game, and it's not just a high school game. He's preparing them for life in general, whether you play the next level or your opponents down the road in life. So I look at it a little bit differently being a mom, I think. It's more than just that weekly schedule. I'm sure when Freeman's planning out the schedule, lots on his mind of who to pick, who do we draw, how do we go about this, but there are no cupcake games, and it's almost showing we don't have an easy path, and you're not going to have an easy path. So the challenges are you're up to be faced for every week and just get better, and that's what they're doing.
No, you're exactly right. it will maybe take a decade or longer. These young men will realize that in playing in these huge games and having this coaching staff and the way that they're instilling these wonderful life lessons in these young men, they will carry that for the rest of their life. And I hope that they realize what a blessing that is, because it really is.
Like, it'll be 10 years from now, they'll realize it one day.
That's right.
Matthew, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
You can hopefully go to Warrior Stadium Friday night, because it is homecoming. We want that place packed out.
Yes,
You'll see a lot of togas from the seniors. Just ignore those.
Right.
But if you're not going to the game, you can listen to Matthew and the crew, Warrior Nation Network, NFHS Network, published by Thompson. When we come back, we'll meet the captain of the cheer squad, Catherine Bowman, to find out what she did to make sure everybody was dressed to the nines on homecoming night. Plus, Coach Freeman checks in. That and a whole lot more after word from our sponsors.
Brooklear Pharmacy is your hometown pharmacy, offering competitive prices on prescriptions, hormone replacement therapy, compounding, medical equipment, and immunizations. Brooklear Health Mart Pharmacy, dedicated to providing the best health care for our community.
Go Warriors!
Authentic Mexican cuisine right here in Alabaster. Combined with Sneaky Pete's hot dogs, this is a great place to stop in for a bite to eat. Online ordering and delivery is available at our Alabaster location.
Since 1980, Mr. Bug's Pest Control has remained one of Alabama's top pest control companies. From residential to commercial, we always strive to embrace our industry's latest and most current technology. We provide our customers peace of mind by knowing their pest and termite control needs are met. At Total Roofing, we understand the importance of a sturdy and reliable roof. Whether you're dealing with roof repair, restoration, shingle replacement, storm damage, or a pesky roof leak, we've got you covered. Call Total Roofing at 205-432-8395.
Welcome back to the Weekly Warrior Preview. Homecoming is this weekend for the Warriors, and when it comes to finding the perfect dress, it can be challenging and costly. But thanks to a project led by cheer captain Catherine Bowman and other members of DECA, this year everyone had a chance to find the perfect fit. So I'm with Captain for Cheer Squad, and I've known Catherine for quite some time. Yes. And cheer is your life, it seems like. You did competition cheer for a while, so this is a fitting title for you. Talk about what it was like when you found out you're going to be the captain this year.
I was actually out of town when I found out I was going to be captain, and I had a video sent to me from Coach Richard saying our 2024-2025 cheer captain is going to be Catherine Bowman, and I was just so honored because cheer has been a part of my life for so long, and it's just like super honoring to get to lead my team, and I just love the girls so much. So
it is a part. I can't imagine you not being a cheerleader. Yeah. It's just kind of who you are. But away from cheer, you do so much more. And one thing that you're heavily involved in is DECA.
Yes.
Tell us what DECA is.
So DECA is a entrepreneurship and business club. So we compete and we go to competitions. We have like business prompts and we'll present to judges. And it's so much fun. It's a great way to network and meet new people. Gives you a lot of insight on how to be professional. And how to, anywhere from like dressing professional, talking professionally, all the things.
You went to California to compete. How was that?
It was so much fun. I got to get so much closer with so many people that I normally don't talk to at school. And it was just a great way to meet new people from all over the world. There were people from Denmark, China, all the states. Yeah, there was a bunch of people there.
And how did you guys do in the competition?
We did well. We actually had 8 finalists from Alabama that got on stage, and that's very rare for us. Our goal was to have 5 people this year.
Now, and you oversaw a project that DECA did.
Yes.
What was that project? Tell us about that.
That project was Project Prom. So we have a dress drive every year where people bring in old prom dress, formal dresses, any types of dresses in that area. And we have a drive for girls to come in who might not be able to afford a dress or are looking to find a dress for prom, and they can come in that night and they can shop, and just it's a great way for them to feel beautiful.
Which is always good. Those dresses get worn one time and hung back up, so why not pass them along to somebody else?
1,000%.
Now, prom will be big for you this year because you're on SGA as well.
I am.
What do you do there?
So on SGA, I basically help plan pep rally games. I help with our homecoming floats, homecoming dress-up days. We also help and coordinate with the cheer team to come up with all the themes for all of our football games.
Okay, so I have to ask about the games then. The broom and balloon game. Who came up with that game?
That was actually not me. think that was maybe Mr. Boy or Coach Richard. I'm not really sure, actually.
It was funny to watch. I have to say it was fun to watch. So you guys do great with the themes and all the games and everything. And I know you're going to have a successful year after Thompson. Do you know where you're going yet?
I'm planning on going to University of Alabama. I've been taking classes there since the beginning of last year. So
that's what you major in?
I'll be majoring in real estate. They have a new major coming. It's going to be real estate. I'm going to minor in sales and marketing.
Which I think it's a perfect fit. Catherine,
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Catherine is a member of the Senior Homecoming Court. The homecoming dance will take place Saturday night, but some of the football players have traded their dancing shoes for recruiting shoes. Among them, Trent Seaborn. He's been invited to Alabama as they host Georgia on a recruiting trip on Saturday. The Warriors had a messy start last Friday, but they're hoping to kind of rebuild off that this week. Christina Chambers has more from the team.
That no matter what, even if the defense is on for 20 plays or something, we got to keep on driving, keep on going, give them the defense a break, give them time to get a breather in and make them come back out or score, and then have them have a kind of motivation to come back out and play. You got to are more vocal on the line. You got to keep on going. When someone's down, the teammates getting tired and all, you got to pick them back up and keep on going. I mean, I guess the pregame ritual, every time we walk the field, I have to listen to a WWE intro. It gets me hype. I don't know why. It just gets me.
So what about it? How long have you been doing that?
Since my freshman year, ever since I started walking the field, I've been playing WWE intros. I've been watching WWE since I was a kid. It's just, I kind of looked up to them as a kid, so it kind of gets me hyped about them. Wrestler, it's this guy named Jeff Hardy. He does extreme stuff like top of the ladder, he jumps off. Ever since I was a kid when I first started watching, that's who I watched all the time.
Have you ever tried any of...
Oh yes ma'am, I have. On the trampoline, just doing front flips off the trampoline, yes ma'am.
Has that been like the craziest stunt you've ever done?
Yes ma'am, I couldn't do anything else. I'm afraid of heights, but if I can't do jumping off a ladder or anything, no ma'am.
It was a region win, which is always nice, but we really could have played better. Defense got stuck on the field a good amount of the time, but when offense was on the field, they always did good and scored. So I always tape my wrist before the game, and my grandma passed away last year, and every game after that I would write RIP and then Papa and then Nana for my grandma and grandpa.
How special is that for you?
It's pretty special. I got to actually use my uniform and go to her nursing home and take pictures with her before she passed away.
How special was that moment? You said this was just last year?
Yes, ma'am.
How special was that moment to be able to do that? Because obviously I take it she couldn't make it to a game.
No, ma'am. It was very special. She actually made it to Spain Park game, was the last game she came to last year.
Do you feel like when you're out there kicking, it gives you kind of that extra little boost or presence when you're out there?
Yes, ma'am. I actually have the cross on this necklace was one of the things she gave to me before she passed. So every time I wear it, no matter where I'm at.
When we come back, Coach Mark Freeman checks in to tell us what the Warriors need to work on to get revenge from last year's matchup against Clay Chalkville. Plus, details on a change for the ladies basketball team. That and a whole lot more after word from our sponsors.
Buddy's Barbecue, a family-run staple in Alabaster since 1976. We make barbecue the old-fashioned way and serve it with our handmade sides.
From the class of 89?
From 87? From 83, first state champs. Always a warrior.
Better Lawn and Gardens. We're located right here in Alabaster. We specialize in weed control and fertilizing, landscape lighting, lawn maintenance, and landscaping. We love serving our neighbors in Alabaster. Reach out for your free quote.
Hi, I'm Jacob with Duck Doctor USA. If you would like a healthier home, give us a call today at 205-980-0800 or check us out on the web at duckdoctorbirmingham.com.
Duck Doctor says, "Go Warriors!"
Shelby Fence Company is a name you can trust for outstanding fencing services in Shelby County and the nearby areas. We are the preferred contractor for fence installations, and you can depend on Shelby Fence Company to provide superior fencing and gate options, including chain link, aluminum, and wood.
Welcome back to the Weekly Warrior Preview. The Warriors defense is once again showing they are a powerhouse on the field. But as Coach Mark Freeman will tell you, it will take all positions to get a win this week at home.
The first 5 of the game, I came off as not feeling like maybe we did what we had to do to get off the field on third downs, and I still feel that way. But I think they did a good job of planting first downs and keeping the ball away from us a little bit. So the win is the biggest thing. Is we got a region win, and all those things go in a box or a jar or whatever. And you need to have a bunch of them in there so that you can make the playoffs. And the biggest key here is approach week to week the game at hand and win enough that at the end of the season we got a chance to go to the playoffs. So I'm after a few days, I'm as thankful as I was that night for the win. But I just think that, when you get 34, 35 snaps in the game, I just don't think you're going to win a lot of them. They understand, and it's like I told them Sunday, you really don't like negative people. And Friday night after the game, I got on pretty good. And that's enough. So Sunday when we came in, we were trying to, encourage our kids. I love our kids. I think we got a really good football team. We're young. And until we find some leaders on the football team that can go in and be leaders and say, hey, this ain't how we do things here, or whatever. But, I think that's my job, is to know the temperature of my team, and they know I care about them, but at the same time they know that our standard is a certain level, and when we don't meet that standard, I'm not going to be happy. And so happiness and loving them is two different things. Well, you can't look, I know they're classified as a 6A school. When I was at Spanish Fort, we were a 5A. Back then they only had 5 and 6A schools, top level, but once you get to 6 and 7A football, a good team can beat any good team, and they have a really good team. They had a really good team last year. They came in and approached the week a little bit different than I thought they would. They ran in Bachway a bunch of times. It helped them win the game. I probably will never approach a week 5 like that. There's too much football left, but to each their own. And my hat was off to Clay Chapel last year. Matter of fact, I called Bach after the game on Friday and told him he earned a lot of my respect, all the respect I had for him, plus the way he continued to run the football up in there in tough times, in tough areas. And so, it's a week 5, and we want to win the game, and it's the most important. It's like we want to win this as bad as we want to win any region game. Our desire is to win it, but at the same time, it's kind of a relief to know we can try some things that we have been wanting to try, but in region games, it's just not the time to take undue chances. We threw the ball only 8 times last week. There was a lot of times when we got the ball, we had to play defense on offense. Our guys were tired. That's on the field a long time. And I think good football teams and good coaching staffs, we all work together to, when they're getting 3 and out, we're pretty good. I think we're over, I told them the other day, I think we're over 60% on drive scores after 3 and outs. So I think it's just a motivational or a momentum thing that when we get off the field, we do pretty good on offense. But last week, the situation was we needed to run the football, which we averaged about 9 yards a carry, had 260, 70 yards of offense. So really production-wise, we were really good. I was really pleased with running the football that night. I just felt like we needed more snaps.
It's now time for the DL on the Warriors. Trent Seaborn, Cam Pritchard, and Darian Mosley all headed to Death Valley last week for a recruiting trip. Seaborn will be back on the recruiting trail on Saturday in Tuscaloosa. Just announced, women's basketball coach Art Bogan has resigned. Madison Pierce has been named interim head coach. Pierce has been with the Warriors since 2019. The softball team took back to the Diamond this weekend to help with Field of Angels. The program allows children with challenges a chance to enjoy the game. The Thompson cross country team came home winners this past weekend from the Dolphin Run. Their next race is October 19th in Tuscaloosa. And congrats to baseball standout Caden Wooten for committing to Bevel State. That's going to do it for us here on the Weekly Warrior Preview. Thank you to our sponsors who make this show possible each and every week, and thank you to you guys for watching. We hope you enjoy homecoming as the Warriors host Clay Chalkville.